the simplest day trading strategy that allows me to spend minimal time while achieving maximum results. Over more than 5 years of active trading, I have learned to focus only on the most important things. You only need one simple strategy and impeccable adherence to the plan to start earning consistently. My plan is very simple and consists of the most basic elements. I will show you not only the theory but also my real intraday trades where I earn over $30,000 monthly. Let's get started. For now, let's avoid any cheating indicators, and I will show you what my strategy looks like, which we will use today. Here we clearly have two zones of interest, and the first task you need to tackle is identifying the key zones of interest. This can be done very simply using this indicator. You can add it by typing its name like support and resistance from the author chart prime in the indicators panel. The idea is quite simple. You can independently draw some primary basic zones of interest and see how the chart interacts with these zones. Next, we will use two time frames, a higher and a lower one. In my case, the higher time frame is 5 minutes. Now I see that my chart has approached the upper boundary, which acts as my zone of interest. I take a very simple action. I switch to a lower time frame and look for reasons why the chart should reverse or bounce off the zone. It's easiest to this using a trend line. You can switch to a line chart type to more accurately set the trend line. Here, I would enter a trade after the breakout and retest. Where can we set the stop? I place the stop loss either just above the high or a bit further away for the take profit. I can set it at the update of local minimum. I also use another handy tool, an automatic balance down indicator. This way, we get the following trade, which closes quite easily. And now, we wait for the chart to approach the lower boundary that we identified. Now the chart has approached the lower boundary, and again, it makes sense to draw a trend line here. Let's say we draw a trend line like this for now. We will see how the chart reacts. We have a breakout of this trend line, and right now we are testing this trend line. I would set my entry point somewhere around here, placing the take profit at the imbalance zone, and I adjust the stop loss to ensure my trade is relatively safe. Let's not forget that there can be such squeezes. Of course, this doesn't always mean that your stop loss should be that long, but I consider a risk to reward ratio of 1.89 to be quite reasonable. Let's observe this trade and see how it closes. Overall, as you can see, the price eventually reaches the take profit. Before we move on analyzing real trades based on the strategy, I want to mention that all those trades you see in this video can be automatically copied through copy trading with my broker. To do this, you need to follow the link in the description to this channel and send me a message with the keyword copy trading in my channel. You will also find data from accounts where these trades are executed. You can check it out if you are genuinely interested. Now let's move on to the trade with our indicator. We can automatically see the upper zone of interest that our chart is currently moving towards. I suggest switching from the higher time frame to a lower time frame. That's my next step. But before that, let me highlight this area so it doesn't get lost. Here we have a resistance area, and here we also have a support area. Plus, there's another level where there are definitely a lot of stop orders accumulated. Just in case, I will highlight it in case we need to trade up to this level. What do we see here? We can draw a trend line through these two peaks and see how the price behaves. Here we see a breakout and a retest. I will use the tool to open a short position with the goal of obviously surpassing the level I highlighted earlier. I can adjust the stop loss depending on the risk to reward ratio. One very important piece of advice for beginners: don't chase high ratios like 2, 3, 4, etc. The smaller your stop loss, the higher your probability that you will catch it. Therefore, I can confidently set up a trade with approximately this ratio. It's important that my stop is above the previous local maximum, and here those conditions are met. So let's monitor the trade. Well, here we go. In just a couple of hours, we see the implementation of a downward movement. I would say it looks like, very nice and successful. On the first trade, I earned $672 with a risk of $500, which is 50%. This is a way to grow a deposit from $1,000 to $2,000, $3,000 within my copy trading strategy, with which you can, you can also join. Now, I suggest we moved on to the review of the second trade. The time frame is 15 minutes. I have identified key areas above and below. So let's see how the chart behaves. The most important thing is for us to touch the zone of interest. Right now, we are touching the zone of interest, so I'm switching to the 5-minute time frame to determine possible reasons for a market reversal. Here, it makes sense to draw a trend lines, such as this one at the top and this one at the bottom. This already resembles a falling wedge in terms of its structure. Accordingly, our task is to carefully observe the upper line to see if we will have a breakout or a retest. As we see a breakout, we have an indicator that marks an additional area that could also serve as our zone of interest. I will mark it here as well. We will wait for either a test of this area, as is happening now, or a test of the broken trend line. In general, we can enter a long position right now. To avoid confusion about where to place the take profit, I will turn on the imbalance indicator and understand that, for example, my take profit could comfortably be located right here. The risk to reward ratio is completely satisfactory to me. My stop is placed where it should be. Let's watch how this small trade plays out. As you can see, we are reaching the take profit quite closely. In the real trade, my take profit was at 64,842, but it was roughly at that same level. Thus, in one trading session with a balance of $1,000, I managed to make $3,000. These trades could have been copied by you completely automatically. For this, I remind you to send me a private message with the keyword copy trading. Friends, today I shared with you the most basic principles of my almost daily strategy that I use very often. This strategy consists only of the most important elements, so if you approach it wisely, you could start making money today. Thank you all for watching. Take care.